This is the Secure Family Podcast. Welcome, friend. I'm Andy Murphy, the host and founder of The Secure Dad. This show is all about empowering parents to protect themselves and their family. I believe that security is a foundation of happiness, and I want your family to be safe and happy. The information I share on this podcast is for general information purposes only. My goal is to empower you to make safer decisions about yourself and your family, because our safety is our own responsibility. Today, I'm going to address a question that I get a lot, which is how to know if there's a sex offender that lives near your family. All of that and more coming up on the Secure Family Podcast. You know, there are some unintended consequences that come with being notable online. Whether you're a content creator, a parent sharing family moments, or just someone active on social media, the more we share, the more valuable our information becomes. It's not just about what you post either. Data broker sites collect your name, address, phone number, and even your workplace. And once that info's out there, it's easy for scammers or creeps to look you up. That's why I personally use Delete Me. Delete Me is a subscription service that removes your personal data from hundreds of data broker sites. Plus, they keep monitoring, so if your information is bought again, they get rid of it. If you or your family are creating content or just living life online, protecting your personal information matters. Delete Me helps you do that. Right now, you can get 20% off your Delete Me plan. Just go to joindeleteme.com/dad and use the promo code DAD at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/dad, code DAD. Parents, it's time to level up your online gaming safety. My new ebook, Level Up, the Parent 30-Minute Guide to Online Gaming Safety, is now available at thesecuredad.com. In just 30 minutes, you'll learn how to protect your kids from online dangers, set up smart guidelines, and give them the freedom to play without all of the worry. I'll give you a parent-friendly breakdown of the online gaming world. You'll get a clear understanding of why kids love gaming and how it fits into their social lives. You'll learn about the biggest threats like cyberbullying, inappropriate content, and online grooming. And of course, I will show you how to deal with them. I'll provide you with proven methods to build trust and have meaningful conversations with your child about gaming safety, because I've done this all myself. Plus, I'll share the red flags of grooming so that you can protect your kids online and in real life. And I will do all of this in the time it takes you to watch one of your favorite TV shows. No fear-mongering, just real solutions from a dad, a gamer, and of course, a family safety advocate. Don't wait. Grab your copy today at thesecuredad.com. There's a link for you in today's podcast show notes. One of the most common emails that I find in my inbox is about registered sex offenders. I get an email from a parent who's become worried all of a sudden about a sex offender living near their home. Now, this is a valid concern. We are protector parents after all. It's our business to know the real threats that our children face. So today, I'm going to give you some facts about what you need to know to make better decisions in the event that you find yourself confronted with a sex offender living near your home. First, let's start with the basics. What is a sex offender? When we say those words, we imagine, a monster of a person, someone who looks and acts differently than everybody else. Now, you think you'd be able to spot a sex offender from a mile away because they have horns and fangs, right? But that is simply not the case. Predators are people who look just like us. They have jobs. They go to the grocery store. They live in our communities. So what is it that we exactly really need to know? So let's define it here. A sex offender is a person who has been convicted of a sex offense and has been released from incarceration, parole, or other sentence. From that definition, we can assume that the sex offender has only been labeled as such after they have been caught for a crime, been convicted for it, and served some sort of sentence. So sex offenders are criminals who have served their sentence. And you can't call somebody a sex offender unless there is a legal reason for it, so please be very careful in how you use this term. Please also understand that not every person on the sex offender registry is a threat to your family. Some people are on this list because people lied about them and they couldn't prove otherwise. So don't assume that just because you find a name on that list that is close to your home, that that person is actively threatening you. That is not the case. Please use common sense. It's important to note that sex offenders are male and female. Men are convicted more than women, but women can be offenders too. How many female teachers do you see in the news accused of a sexual relationship with a student? I think that happens like once a week now. I think that many parents assume that women cannot be evil, but they can. Understand that it's not just men that you need to be worried about. Now you're thinking, Andy, that's all great, but how do I know where they are? So first, let's take a look at the sex offense registry. Every state and even every jurisdiction has their own set of laws and rules about what information is collected about the offender. That information is then shared publicly for the purpose of protecting the public. The types and the amount of information varies simply because each state has its own set of laws that govern what's collected, and that can change from time to time. But there doesn't seem to be a national standard, which you think there would be. The National Sex Offender Public website is a database that exists so that citizens and even employers can search for offenders in their area. This is a database that is run by the Department of Justice and is the best source of this kind of information. You can search by name, address, zip code, county, and town. It really is a robust tool to use if you feel like you need to use it. But it's important to know that when you search, you first have to submit to the terms and conditions for use of the site, and this is important. They issue a very stern warning about the information that you get from the site, and it's not to be used to hurt or harass people. So when you do your search, you may get names, aliases, photos, addresses, and age. You may not get access to the case files, but generally there is a brief description about the level of offense that this person has committed. Or depending where you search, you might get more or less information. Again, it just depends on the jurisdiction. You should be able to click on each entry to be taken to the local jurisdiction's website, and there may be more information for you there. Another great tool that the NSOPW offers is to search by radius of your address. So this kind of gives you a map view of where sex offenders are in respect to your address. You have the option to enter an address to see registered offenders within, I think, a 3 to 5 mile radius of that particular place. Now, this will help you find out if there's a sex offender living within walking distance of your home. Now, not all states have this data, but most of them do. I suggest that you do not use your address in the search, but use the address of another home in your neighborhood. You can also enter the address of your child's school, your church, or any other important location. This is also important to do if you're considering buying a new house or moving to a new apartment. Put in that address, see if there are any offenders living in that new address that you may have, and have that weigh into the decision of whether or not you're going to move there. For ease of use, there is an NSOPW app. I've talked about this before. The NSOPW app is on my phone right now. As a matter of fact, I looked at it right before I did this recording. You can search just like you can on the website, but there is also a location radius search as well. The app will give you up to a mile of your current location. So that means the app is getting your geolocation from your phone, so just be aware. I suggest that you run a search when you're at your home, your office, your church, a friend's house, or any other location where your child may be. Also, this app comes in handy around Halloween when you are planning your trick-or-treat route. Also, there are other apps on your phone's app store that say that they will do this search for you, but I suggest that you avoid those. Those collect a lot of data about you when you download it. Plus, some of them only search data broker sites like BeenVerified.com, and they're not using the actual real database. That's why I suggest the NSOPW app. Sex offenders are allowed to live in hotels and use it as a permanent address. That may sound odd, but that's something that they allow. So when you go on vacation, use the NSOPW radius search at your hotel to see if there are any registered in the building. But as you can guess, sex offenders can lie about where they live. While their case officers do follow up with them and keep track of them, you can't count on these searches 100% of the time. So as I wrap up, there are other questions that you may have, and that's completely understandable. That's why I created a free resource for you that I call Protecting Your Family from Sex Offenders. This PDF goes over even more questions and information Obviously, everything that you've heard today, but then they'll also go over what the 3 levels of offense are and why that matters, when you were notified of a sex offender moving near you, how to get more information about an offender, and of course, what to do if you suspect if your child is being abused. So this free download is available to you at the link in today's show notes, or if you go to thesecuredad.com/offender. You can use this to supplement the information that I've given you here today, and you can even pass this on to a friend, send them the link, and let them download it so they can protect their family. I want to end this show with something to think about, a warning, really. Sex offenders are only those people who have been caught and convicted. There are untold numbers of sexual predators at large who have not been caught. They haven't even been charged. Nobody knows that they're even doing this except their victims who are staying quiet. These are the greatest threat to our family because they can be a teacher, a pastor, a friend, or a coach. That's why it's important to watch who interacts with your child and follow your gut instinct about people. And if your child has an issue with an adult and they don't feel comfortable around them, listen to your child and act accordingly. Do not shrug this off. What I've gone over today is some ideas of tools that you can use to equip yourself as a parent, but no website is going to protect our children. That is up to us as protector parents. That's all that I have for the Secure Family Podcast for today. Thank you, friend, for listening. Take back your privacy and personal data with help from Delete Me. Get 20% off a privacy plan when using the code DAD at checkout. Delete Me is the official data removal service of the Secure Dad. Keep your kids safe while gaming with my ebook, Level Up. Get your copy at the link in the show notes. If you'd like to know more about the Secure Dad, join me on Instagram and TikTok. My username for both platforms is The Secure Dad. And of course, my website is available to you 24/7 at thesecuredad.com. I'm Andy Murphy, reminding you to be aware of who lives near your family and be mindful to make good decisions.